Hello friends, myself Dr. Nandakumar Raubawale from College of Engineering Ambazugai is going to deal with Applied Thermodynamics 2. This is our 14th lecture. In previous lecture, we have discussed about introduction to air conditioning, psychometry, and psychometric terms and psychometer. Now today we are going to discuss Dalton's law of partial pressure and how it is applicable with the moisture. Then second one is psychometric relations. So the definition of psychometric terms we have seen. Now how these psychometric relations are correlated with each other, that we are going to study in today's lecture. Then next thing is psychometric chart. So a psychometric chart consists of property lines on it, and the properties are represented with the help of psychometric chart. And these lines how these lines are represented on psychometric chart, that we'll be discussing in detail. So what is Dalton's law of partial pressure? So what this Dalton's law of partial pressure states is the total pressure, if we say total pressure of mixture, total pressure P of mixture of various constituents of gas, it is X and Y say, so is equal to the partial pressure of constituent gases say X and partial pressure of constituent gas Y at when these constituent gases occupy the volume of total mixture. Say volume of mixture of gases is V, and the volume of constituent X, if it is separated, then it occupies a volume of total mixture of gas, and Y also occupies same volume as that of the mixture and at same temperature of mixture. So condition is the pressure exerted by the constituent X and pressure exerted by constituent Y occupying the volume V at temperature T is nothing but the sum of these two pressures is equal to the total pressure, which is the pressure of mixture of two constituents, and the mixture also occupies volume V, which is at temperature T. So this is the Dalton's law of partial pressure, which states that the total pressure exerted by mixture of gases is equal to the sum of partial pressure exerted by constituent gases occupying the volume of the mixture at same temperature. So this is applicable to this moist air. How this is applicable to moist air, that we want to see. So as the Dalton's law of partial pressure states that total pressure exerted by mixture of air and water vapor, so moist air is nothing but dry air and water vapor, is equal to the sum of pressures which constituents would exert if it occupies the same volume as the volume of mixture at the temperature of mixture. Say we have here dry air and here water vapor. Then the pressure exerted by dry air PA and pressure exerted by water vapor PV is equal to total pressure PB. Say total pressure exerted by the mixture of dry air and water vapor occupying same volume, V is same, occupying same volume as that of the mixture of two constituents and at the temperature T, same temperature. So temperature of vapor, temperature of dry air and temperature of mixture is going to be same. So this total pressure PB is equal to PA plus of PV at when condition to be satisfied is there are two conditions. One is, so these constituent gases have to occupy the volume of mixture, whereas the temperature of these constituent gases should be equal to the temperature of mixture. So this is how the Dalton's law of partial pressure is explained, where PB we call as a total pressure and PA we call as a partial pressure of air, and dry air we can call this as a partial pressure of dry air, and PV is partial pressure of water vapor. Partial pressure of water vapor. So this is how we can find out total pressure exerted by mixture of two different constituents when mixed together at the same volume and temperature of individual constituents. Now coming to the relations, psychometric relations, specific humidity, which is known as a humidity ratio and represented by omega. So it is defined as, it is the mass of water vapor present in 1 kg of dry air. It is the mass of water vapor present in 1 kg of dry air. It is expressed in grams per kg of dry air. Gram per kg of dry air. This is expressed in this way. So now we will see. Let us consider. Let PA, comma VA, comma TA, comma MA, and RA be the pressure, comma volume, comma absolute temperature, comma mass, and gas constant, respectively, for dry air. That is nothing but PA is pressure, VA is volume, TA is temperature, and MA is mass of dry air, and RA is gas constant. So similarly, PV, comma V suffix V, comma T suffix V, comma M suffix V, and R suffix V be the corresponding values for water vapor. That is nothing but pressure of water vapor, then volume of water vapor, temperature of absolute temperature of water vapor, mass of water vapor, and gas constant of water vapor. So PV is nothing but partial pressure of water vapor, PA is partial pressure of air, we can say. So from this what we can write is, one thing is dry air behaves like a ideal gas, whereas the vapor also behaves as an ideal gas or perfect gas. Assuming these two behaving like a ideal gas or perfect gas, we can write PV is equal to MRT, that is PA VA is equal to MA RA T suffix A. This is we call as equation number 1. And for a vapor we can write PV VV is equal to MV RV TV. This is equation number 2. So now what we have assumed is the volume is going to remain same. That is nothing but as we have defined in the Dalton's law of partial pressure. So volume of mixture is equal to volume of vapor is equal to volume of air. So volume of all the constituents is same as the volume of total mixture of gases. So therefore we can assume here as that is VV is equal to VA, and temperature is also same. What we assume that temperature is same, TA is equal to TV. So temperature of mixture, temperature of individual constituent is going to be same. So first we assume that volume is same whereas temperature is also same. Then writing this equation, dividing equation number 2 by 1. So dividing equation 2 by equation 1, we get PV is equal to PV into VV divided by PA into VA, which is equal to MV RV TV divided by MA RA TA. So here what we assumed, VV is equal to VA, so this gets cancelled. Then TV is equal to TA, this gets cancelled. So finally what is going to remain, PV divided by PA is equal to MV divided by MA into RV divided by RA. So now what we assume here is MV divided by MA, MV divided by MA, mass of water vapor per unit mass of dry air, that is nothing but specific humidity or humidity ratio. So we can rewrite this equation as MV divided by MA is equal to PV divided by PA into RA divided by RV. So this can be written as MA divided by MV divided by MA is omega, that is specific humidity or humidity ratio that we define, and is equal to, we can write this as RA divided by RV into PV divided by PA. But now we know RA, gas constant for air, RA is 0.287 kilojoules per kg degree Kelvin, and RV for water vapor, gas constant for water vapor is 0.461 into PV divided by PA. On simplification, this term becomes 0.622 PV divided by PA. So where we can write here RA value is equal to 0.287 kilojoules per kg Kelvin, whereas RV is equal to 0.461 kilojoules per kg Kelvin. So we get this as the specific humidity or humidity ratio in terms of what you say, in terms of partial pressure of vapor and partial pressure of air. So further we can write this omega, that is relative humidity, specific humidity or humidity ratio, is equal to 0.622 PV divided by PA, where PV is partial pressure of vapor and PA is partial pressure of air. So which can be written as 0.622 into PV divided by PB minus of PV. So how we replace this PA by PB minus PV? So as we have seen in Dalton's law of partial pressure, barometric pressure PB or atmospheric pressure is equal to partial pressure of air plus partial pressure of vapor. So we want to replace this PA. So this PA we want to replace. So this PV, if we transfer on left hand side, this becomes PA is equal to PB minus of PV. So from this we can write this specific humidity or humidity ratio as PV divided by PV minus PV. So now one thing we can assume, so here this partial pressure of vapor is known. So as we have seen the saturation limit of air, so the water holding capacity of air is depending on its temperature, and it is having fixed certain limit to hold the water. So when it air, say for example air is there, it has got the capacity to hold 12 grams of water per kg of air, dry air. So this 12 kg is the maximum capacity. At that time we call this air as a saturated air, saturated air. So what this saturated air is, so further addition of water vapor into this air, it will not hold that water vapor in its suspension. So beyond that it cannot hold any more water in it. So that is called as a saturated air. So if we allow this air to have the sufficient quantity of water vapor, and when it becomes saturated, then we call that pressure of air as a pressure of saturated air. So PV becomes PS. So at saturation, PV becomes PS. That is nothing but when air gets saturated completely, at that time the partial pressure of vapor, we call this as a partial pressure of saturated air. So when it is holding maximum amount of water vapor, so this omega max, specific humidity ratio, when it holds maximum amount of water vapor in it, so at that time we can write this as omega max is equal to 0.622, and in place of PV we can write as PS divided by PB minus of PS. So this is another relation for specific humidity or humidity ratio of saturated air. So we call this as a humidity ratio for saturated air. So when air is saturated with sufficient quantity of water vapor in it, and any more air it is not, any more water vapor it holds in it, then we call that air as a saturated air. So this we call as equation number 3, say, and this we call as equation number 4. So equation number 3 is a general equation where the air is not completely saturated, and equation number 4 gives us the humidity ratio or specific humidity when air is perfectly saturated. Now coming to this PS, what this PS is? PS is partial pressure of air corresponding to saturation temperature or dry bulb temperature. Now coming to next term, that is degree of saturation. What this degree of saturation is? So as we have defined degree of saturation in previous class as, it is the ratio of actual mass of water vapor present in unit mass of dry air, actual mass of water vapor present in unit mass of dry air to the mass of water vapor in the same mass of dry air when it is saturated. So when air is saturated, then we have defined this as the ratio. So now indirectly we say this mu is equal to omega divided by omega max. Omega max means when air is saturated. So what is omega? Omega is nothing but actual mass of water vapor present in unit mass of dry air. So that is in grams per kg of dry air. So this is omega. And then the mass of water vapor in the same dry air when it is saturated is nothing but specific humidity or humidity ratio when air is saturated. So omega divided by omega max gives us degree of saturation. So this can be written as, omega can be written as, just now we have seen, that is 0.622 PV divided by PB minus PV. So this is for omega in the numerator, and omega max is given by 0.622, then PS divided by PB minus PS. So equation number 3 and equation number 4, using equation number 3 and equation number 4 we can write mu is equal to this one. So from this 0.622 gets cancelled, and what is going to remain is PV divided by PB minus PV in numerator, and in denominator we get PS divided by PB minus PS. So this can be written as again PV divided by PS in bracket PB minus PS divided by PB minus PB. So this is can be written like this, or we can take one thing common as this can be written as again PV divided by PS as it is. Then this can be written as again in numerator 1 minus PS divided by PB, taking PB common from numerator and denominator. So 1 minus PV divided by PB. So we can take PB common in numerator and denominator, then we can get this as the equation for degree of saturation. So degree of saturation can be written in this way. So there are two equations for degree of saturation. So mu can be written as PV divided by PS in bracket PB minus PS divided by PB minus PV. So we call this as equation number 5, say, and equation number 6, mu is equal to PV divided by PS 1 minus PS divided by PB whole divided by 1 minus PV divided by PB. So we call this as equation number 6. So equation number 5 and 6 give the same, that is degree of saturation or percentage of humidity. So coming to the next term, that is the relative humidity. What this relative humidity is, just we have defined, it is the ratio of actual mass of water vapor in a given volume to the mass of water vapor if the air is saturated at the same temperature. So earlier it was with respect to the mass. It was with respect to the mass of water vapor in unit mass of dry air. So now this is defined with respect to the actual mass of water vapor in a given volume or unit volume to the mass of water vapor if air is saturated. So it is defined in this way. That is nothing but phi is relative humidity, which is given as mass of water vapor actually to the mass of water vapor in a saturated air. So here also we can have the same terms. So PV into VV is equal to MV RV TV, we can write for water vapor. As you know, what is PV, VV, everything, and then PA, VA is equal to MA, RA, TA. So now what we have seen is temperature TV is equal to TA, then VV is equal to VA, and we say that RA is equal to RS, sorry, RV is equal to RS. So what is RV? The gas constant for vapor, and gas constant for saturated air is also same, that is 0.461 kilojoules per kg Kelvin. So now what we do, this equation phi is equal to mu divided by ms. So mass of water vapor to per unit volume to the mass of water vapor in a saturated air per unit volume of air. So this is nothing but the relative humidity or humidity ratio. So this can be written like this: phi is equal to mv divided by ms and this is nothing but PV divided by PS. So dividing equation number 1 by equation number 2, we get phi is equal to, so this is how we get is PV VV is equal to MV RV TV divided by PAVA divided by MA RA TA. TA TV gets cancelled, then VA VV gets cancelled, and what is going to remain? PV divided by PA, MV divided by MA, RV divided by RA is going to remain. So here what we can write is sorry, 1 minute. So here one mistake we have committed here is, so this is about air. So for saturated air we can write this as a PS Vs is equal to MS RS into TS. So this is equation number say 7, this is equation number 8, and this is equation number 9. So this equation number 9 has no role to play with. So now we erase these terms. We will have once again how this relation is correlated form. So now you can see here. So PS Vs is equal to MS RS TS, PV VV is equal to MV RV TV. So dividing equation number that is 8 with 7, we get PV VV divided by PS Vs, which is equal to MV RV TV divided by MS RS TS. So temperature is same, as we say that temperature of constituent gases is same. So TV divided by TS gets cancelled. Then VV divided by VS gets cancelled because it occupies same volume. And one thing, RV is the gas constant for water vapor and RS is the gas constant for water vapor at saturation. So therefore this is 0.461 kilojoules per kg Kelvin. This is also 0.461 kilojoules per kg Kelvin, because this mass is mass of saturated water vapor and this is mass of water vapor. So that is nothing but gas constant for water vapor and this is gas constant for water vapor at saturated conditions. So therefore RS RV also gets cancelled. Therefore we get MV divided by MS is equal to PV divided by PS. That is nothing but MV divided by MS is nothing but phi. Phi is equal to PV divided by PS. So this is the equation for relative humidity in terms of the partial pressures. So this is one more thing that we have discussed. Now next thing is psychometric relations, pressure of water vapor. So pressure of water vapor PV is given according to Carrier's equation. This is directly given empirical relation according to Carrier's equation. The partial pressure of water vapor is given by PV is equal to PW minus of PB minus PW into Td minus Tw whole divided by 1544 minus 1.44 Tw, where Pw is saturation pressure corresponding to wet bulb temperature from steam table. This is taken from steam table, whereas Pb is barometric pressure or atmospheric pressure, and Td, T suffix D, is dry bulb temperature, and Tw is wet bulb temperature. Now coming to next term, vapor density or absolute humidity. So as we have defined this absolute humidity, it is the mass of water vapor per unit volume of air. It is expressed in gram per meter cube. So mass of water vapor in unit volume of dry air is nothing but absolute humidity or vapor density. So this is given as Vv. Say for example, let we assume V suffix V is the volume of water vapor in meter cube per kg. This is, in other words, it is specific volume of dry air at its partial pressure. Then VA is specific volume of dry air in meter cube per kg of dry air at its partial pressure. Then let rho V be the density of water vapor in kg per meter cube, corresponding to partial pressure. Corresponding to partial pressure and dry bulb temperature Td. T suffix D. Again, we will consider another term, rho A. With this, rho A is also density of dry air in kg per meter cube of dry air. So this is density of dry air in kg per meter cube of dry air. Now let us see the definition of density. Rho is equal to mass per unit volume. So in other words, we can write this mass is equal to density into volume. So from this we can write this as mv for water vapor. Mv is equal to v suffix v into rho v, where mv is mass of water vapor, vv is specific volume of water vapor, and rho v is density of water vapor. Then again applying it to dry air, ma is equal to va into rho a, where ma is mass of dry air, va is specific volume of dry air, and rho a is density of air. So we call this as equation number say 9, and this we call as equation number 10. So dividing equation number 9 by 10, we get mv divided by ma is equal to vv divided by va into rho v divided by rho a. So this can be written as mv divided by ma is nothing but omega. mv divided by ma is omega, that is humidity ratio that we have seen. So humidity ratio omega is again given by mv divided by ma. In other words, we can write this as rho v divided by rho a, because what we have assumed here is va is equal to vv, so this gets cancelled. So our assumption according to Dalton's law of partial pressure, vv is equal to va. Therefore we cancel this numerator with denominator, then we get omega is equal to mv divided by ma is equal to rho v divided by rho a. So this omega is humidity ratio. So then from this what we can write is, omega is equal to rho v divided by rho a, or this can be written as rho v is equal to omega into rho a. This can be written in this way. Now we know that is PA VA is equal to MA RA TA, applying the gas equation. So we can write this as 1 over VA is equal to rho A. 1 over VA is equal to rho A, assuming that MA is equal to 1 kg. So if MA is equal to 1 kg, so PA is equal to MA divided by VA into RATA. So MA is equal to 1 kg, 1 over VA becomes rho A. So PA is equal to rho A RA TA, we can write, or else TA means temperature of air is nothing but TD, drivable temperature. So PA divided by rho A, so transferring this rho A on left hand side, we get RA into TD, where TD is drivable temperature. So or else we can write this equation as rho A is equal to PA divided by RA TD. So this we call as equation number say 11. Now substituting the rho A in equation which we have obtained for VA. So this was equation number say, the equation which we have derived here is, I think here. So we call this equation as 11 and this as 12. So substituting this value of rho A in equation 11, we get rho A value in equation 11, we get, so what we are going to get here is rho V is equal to omega rho A, or else rho V is equal to omega into PA divided by RA TD. So rho V we get as like this. So that is nothing but, again we can write this rho V is equal to omega into PA, means we can write it as a PB minus PV divided by RA into TD. So how we write this PA as PB is equal to PA plus PV. So this PA can be written as PB minus of PV is equal to PA. So according to Dalton's law of partial pressure, total pressure is sum of partial pressure of air plus partial pressure of vapor. So from this we get this PA is equal to PB minus PV. So this PA is replaced by PB minus PV, we get this equation. So where we know that this PB is barometric pressure, atmospheric pressure, then PV is vapor pressure, RA is gas constant of air, that is 0.287 kilojoules per kg Kelvin, and TD is dryable temperature of air. So now coming to this next term, that is what we say a psychometric chart. So the properties of air are plotted on a graph. A graphical representation of properties of air is known as a psychometric chart. So various lines are plotted on this graph, and what these lines signify that we must know. So various properties of air, moist air, can be taken from this psychometric chart, and which helps us or increases the calculation efficiency or the easiness for getting the data. So here this psychometric chart consists of various lines, and what these lines are going to represent, that we want to discuss here in brief. So very first, that is the line of dry bulb temperature. So already you have discussed the dry bulb temperature, what is the definition of dry bulb temperature. So now here we can see the dry bulb temperature lines are vertical lines. So here these vertical lines which are represented by red lines, these vertical lines represent dry bulb temperature. So along this first vertical line, so the temperature is 40 degrees Celsius. Along this vertical line temperature is 35 degrees Celsius. Along this line it is 30 degrees Celsius. So these vertical lines which are represented on psychometric chart represent dry bulb temperature lines. So along x-axis, along abscissa, the dry bulb temperature is taken. Along y-axis, the specific humidity is taken. So here these lines of dry bulb temperature are uniformly spaced. So these lines are uniformly spaced, and the lowest temperature dry bulb temperature is given is -6 degrees Celsius and up to 45 degrees Celsius. These lines are represented on psychometric chart. So now the difference between two temperature lines is 5 degrees Celsius is kept. So now coming to the next temperature lines. So here the second line, which is known as a specific humidity line. So specific humidity just we have defined, and the specific humidity is omega. So that we have seen, that is humidity ratio or specific humidity lines. So omega is given in grams per kg of dry air. So here it is also represented on this psychometric chart with the help of a horizontal line. So these horizontal lines which are parallel to x-axis are uniformly spaced. So 0 specific humidity, 5 specific humidity, 10, 15, 20, 25 and 30. So these lines represent the specific humidity lines, and this curve is representing saturated air curve. So where the air does not hold any more water in it. So this curve from here to here represents saturated air curve. Then next, coming to the next, here this is represented in grams per kg. Sometimes it is given in kilogram kg per kg of dry air, that is 0.005 kg per kg of dry air. So it may be given in 5 or it may be given 0.005. So these horizontal lines represent specific humidity or humidity ratio lines parallel to x-axis. So next, coming to this dew point temperature lines. So these dew point temperature lines are also horizontal lines. Here you can see vertical lines represent drivable temperature. Say here this is the 5 degree Celsius drivable temperature. Wherever it meets with the saturation curve, so from that the line which starts, horizontal line which starts, represents dew point temperature of 5 degrees Celsius. So say this is 15 degrees Celsius drivable temperature line. So wherever it intersects with the saturation curve, the line starting from this point in horizontal direction gives dew point temperature. Now one thing we can note down here is the dew point temperature lines are going to be horizontal or parallel to x-axis, similar to previous case lines which are specific humidity lines. But the difference is specific humidity lines are equispaced, so space between these lines is going to be same, whereas in this case the space between the lines is not going to be same. So here this space is less and here it is again large. So this space is going to be different in this case where dew point temperature lines are represented. So these are uniformly spaced lines and which are parallel to x-axis. And at the saturation curve, drivable temperature and the wet bulb temperature, dew point temperature are going to be same. And next one is wet bulb temperature line. So these wet bulb temperature lines are again inclined lines with angle with horizontal, so theta angle. So these are again parallel lines to each other. Again these lines when we represent start at point, say wherever drivable temperature line meets with the saturation curve, the temperature of drivable temperature of air and wet bulb temperature of air is going to be same at saturation curve. So these lines are also not uniformly spaced. So wet bulb temperature lines are also not uniformly spaced, and the wet bulb temperature is given along with this saturation curve. So that is 5 degree, 15 degree Celsius, 25 degree Celsius. So in this way, here at this point, drivable temperature, wet bulb temperature and dew point temperature lines are going to be same at saturation curve. So if we represent this DPT, dew point temperature line, so dew point temperature is 25 degrees Celsius, then wet bulb temperature is 25 degrees Celsius. Here drivable temperature is also going to be 25 degrees Celsius at saturation curve. Then next one is enthalpy lines. Enthalpy lines are given in the inclined way, and the enthalpy values are written on this enthalpy scale, which is written here above this saturation curve. So enthalpy curve is enthalpy lines are straight lines which are parallel to, sometimes approximately parallel to WBT lines. So as we have seen, wet bulb temperature lines are also inclined. So these lines are somewhat parallel to the WBT lines, and enthalpy is given on the enthalpy scale. Then fourth is specific volume. Specific volume is volume per unit mass of dry air. So these lines are also inclined, but the angle of inclination is larger compared to the enthalpy lines as well as wet bulb temperature lines. So this angle theta, if you see, is smaller, whereas in case of this enthalpy lines, it is similar to wet bulb temperature, whereas the angle theta is more greater in case of specific volume lines. So these lines represent constant specific volume of dry air. So these lines are equispaced. Now we can see the space between these lines is equally spaced. So we can have this point to note, that is the lines which are equispaced inclined lines represent specific volume of dry air. Then coming to the saturation curve and relative humidity. So relative humidity lines are represented, or curves are represented parallel to the saturation curve. So this saturation curve means it has the holding capacity has reached by the air. So air absorbs water vapor in it up to particular saturation or particular limit at a particular temperature. When it gets satisfied with the complete quantity of water vapor in it, then we call that air as a saturated air. So 100% saturated air is represented along this curve, whereas the parallel curves are drawn. These parallel curves again give the relative humidity of air. So this is given in percentage. So these curves parallel to saturation curve represent relative humidity of air. So then all these lines are combined in a psychometric chart to have the combined study or to derive the properties of air, moist air. So here we can see, so this line is wet bulb temperature line, inclined line. So these are the wet bulb temperature lines which are also indicating the enthalpy, whereas the specific volume line, so these lines which are parallel to each other and equispaced, so these lines represent specific volume. So specific volume will be written along these lines. Then the vertical lines represent dry bulb temperature. So these vertical line blue lines represent dry bulb temperature. Horizontal lines represent specific humidity as well as dew point temperature, DPT, and specific volume lines are horizontal lines. So here on these lines the values will be written here. So these values which will be written on this y-axis will indicate specific humidity, whereas this dew point temperature will be written on the lines in between somewhere, and the enthalpy scale is given here. So when we extend this line somewhere, so it gives the enthalpy value. So enthalpy values will be written here. So these enthalpy values will give us the enthalpy of air at particular temperature, dry bulb temperature and wet bulb temperature, or if we know any two properties of air, the third property or rest of the properties can be obtained using this psychometric chart. So the psychometric chart is combination of properties of air, and those properties of air are the lines are represented, or lines or curves are represented on this psychometric chart. So you can see here curve. So this gives, these curves give us relative humidity. So relative humidity will be written along with these lines, so that will be known to us. So how much, to what extent the air is saturated can be identified with the help of relative humidity line. So by knowing any two properties, say for example, if we know dry bulb temperature 15 degrees Celsius and wet bulb temperature something x, so we can locate this point. So with respect to wet bulb temperature and dry bulb temperature, so from this we can find out relative humidity, then we can find out specific humidity. Everything, all other properties can be determined by knowing only any two properties of air. So this is how the psychometric chart helps us to find out the properties of moist air. So today we stop here. In next class we will solve certain numericals, simple numericals, to find out properties of air. Thank you.